Hello and welcome. Today I'd like to talk to you about manifesting. Manifestation seems to be the catchphrase for the last 20 years. And there's an entire library of books out there trying to teach you how to do it, and wonderful videos and incredible teachers out there who are teaching you how to manifest. I'm going to approach this a little bit differently by telling you you already are manifesting. Every day, every minute of every day, you're manifesting. Now, I'm sure there's some resistance out there when you look around and you see so many things that you don't like, and possibly think to yourself, well, I would not have manifested this into my life. Well, the truth of the matter is you did. And the place to start is to take total responsibility for everything that you see in your life. The good and that which you would consider not so good. The word responsibility kind of sets up a bit of a negative energy in us. But the truth is, once you take the responsibility for everything, you realize just how powerful you are. So when you look at your life and you see things that you don't want, and you've taken full responsibility, then you realize that you can undo and redo. As long as you're blaming anything outside of yourself, as long as you are in any form of victimhood, then you can't claim your worth. And it's only when you claim your worth by taking responsibility for everything, the good and what you would judge as not so good, only then can you begin to use that energy, to use that power, to be the great manifester that you are. I'm going to give you an example. I was in a very dark place a few years back, unemployed, feeling unworthy, feeling as if I had been victimized, or at least had victimized myself. And I was in a very, very dark place, very fearful place. And all I knew was that I had to get a job. I just needed a job really bad. And so I started thinking about that and how I was going to get a job. It took a long time, but out of the clear blue, one day I was called by someone I hadn't talked to in years and said, would you consider coming to work for our company? And here I'm being all cool. Well, I'll consider it. Meanwhile, inside I'm jumping up and down and going crazy and so excited. The interview process was horrible. It took forever. I had to interview with about 7 different people who I thought were better than me, smarter than me, certainly in a position to make or break my life with this opportunity. Well, I did get the job, and it didn't take me long to realize that this company, this job that I had manifested, was the most fearful, angry, controlling place I had ever worked for. I was so miserable. I cried coming and going, just the most horrible experience. And one day I'm driving to work and I had a long commute, so I had plenty of time to think about it. I was thinking about how I had manifested this into my life. that it was totally me. I manifested from a place of fear, fear of lack, fear of unworthiness, fear of losing control. And so I had manifested exactly from the energy that I was in at that time. So one day I'm driving to work and I hear one of my little voices say, "You need to start blessing that job. You need to start blessing the building, the people you work with, the people you work for, the people who come into that building, all of those that you have held responsible for your misery, you need to start blessing." Well, I had to think about that for a while because there was a few that I really didn't want to bless very much, but I did. I have learned to listen to those voices. Oftentimes they come a little bit later than I would have them, but they do come. And I remember the day that I walked up to the building that I worked in and I blessed it. And I blessed it. I blessed the job. I blessed the people. I blessed the ones that just aggravated and scared me the most. I blessed them. And I have to say that it wasn't very long, weeks, weeks at the most. All of a sudden, I wasn't quite as tight, quite as fearful as I was driving to work, not quite as sad when I was leaving work and knowing that I had to come back the next day. It was almost as if I started noticing the the phone calls were a little softer, the emails were less threatening, and within months, it became one of the best working experiences of my life. I learned great lessons from that. Great, great lessons from that. First off, first and foremost, you need to check where you're creating from. The universe does not read between the lines. The universe gives you what you're focused on and the energy that you're using. So if you're in a fearful place, if you're in a place of unworthiness, it will allow you that because it cannot distinguish what you want and what you don't want. It works only on energy. So the energy that I manifested that job from was just such a dark, negative, fearful, lack, totally unworthiness. And that's what I created. And it was only when I realized, took all the responsibility, that I could begin to recreate, to manifest from a place of worth, from a place of love of myself, which allowed me to love the people that I had considered to be the enemy.